Are you ready to uncover your retirement solution? Learn more as Jeremy Keil and his guests guide you along the path of retirement and reveal the 5 steps you need to take to solve your retirement puzzle. Now, on to the show.
Hello and welcome to Retirement Revealed with Jeremy Keil. Today, this is a great podcast. This is Jeremy's inaugural podcast, his very first one. This podcast is going to be broken up into 2 sections, about 8 to 10 questions in each section. The first one is really about his practice, his business, a little bit about his history of why he chose this profession. And we will just give you a snapshot of who he is. And then we'll move into part 2, which is more personal questions that you get to know him on more of a personal basis. So when you go to his office and sit down, you know exactly who you're talking to. Good afternoon, Jeremy. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. It's interesting to be on the other side of the mic. I've been listening to podcasts for quite a few years.
Nice. Now you're a podcaster. This is good stuff.
Absolutely.
What are your favorite podcasts that you listen to?
Well, I've got to go with Top Advisor Marketing. That's how I got introduced to the podcasting world. But you got Between Now and Success with Steve Sandusky. You got Financial Advisor Success with Michael Kitces. That's my main
go-tos.
ones on the business side. And I've been listening to try to branch out outside of the business and listen to one called The Bible Project. That's been a fun one to dive into.
Really? Nice. Yeah, that it's nice to be able to explore. I mean, the nice thing is podcasts are free pretty much. I don't know too many that are paid, but you get to explore all sorts of different subjects and learn so much stuff. So, and I'm glad that Top Advisor Marketing Podcast brought you here to this point where you're doing your own podcast now. Retirement Revealed. I love the title, and we're going to get more into the title later on, I'm sure, especially in other podcasts. But today we're going to start with these questions. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. So
make it happen.
All right, here we go. So how did you make the decision to get into this industry specifically? Just if you want to tell us a little bit about your history, that'd be great.
Yeah, I was in college. I had an ROTC scholarship, so planning to go into the Army, planning to be engineer, Signal Corps, one of those areas that was related to math and science. That was my major. I was a physics major. And then hurt my back and was not allowed to go into the Army active duty. So you get your 4-year plan, and all of a sudden you got to make a quick change there. My aunt worked for a company called Keil Financial, and she said, "You know what? You sell suits at Jose Bank, and you're really good at math. I think you'd like this job, this industry." And she was right from day one. So it was fun to take that skill or the ability to work with folks on the suit selling, and then also take all. I got a calculator right next to me, so that kind of tells you a little bit of who I am. So just kind of combine a couple passions there.
Right on. And so we have your aunt to thank.
You got it, Auntie Barb.
Auntie Barb, shout out to Auntie Barb. Woohoo! That's good. Thank her for us because this is fantastic. Thrivent's a great company, and I'm so happy to be working with you in this and bringing your voice to your area and your clients and prospects and everybody. Speaking of which, who do you work with, and what is your specialty?
Yeah, we help people prepare for and stay retired. That's all we do. Been working for about 17 years in finance, and just real quickly, the idea of helping people make these big decisions that they've never faced before, that they get one shot at it a lot of times where they can't reverse even some of these decisions. That just really appealed to me. Just loved putting that puzzle together, figuring out they've got these goals, these accounts. How can we put that puzzle together to solve that for them? So that's what I work with. We took a look, actually, and in the last 5 years, everyone that's walked through our door has been between the ages of 50 to 66. So we're pretty specific on who we work with and what we love doing.
Well, you know what? It's funny. You kind of answered both of the next couple questions, but I'll touch on them a little bit. One of them was, what do you do for your clients? Which you kind of explained a little bit. If you want to expand on it, that'd be great. And then who is your ideal client? You gave us that age range, but maybe if you want to add anything else, is there anything else that we need to know about those 2 specific questions? What do you do for your clients? And then who is your ideal client?
Yeah, what we do for our clients is we take a look at all their goals. A lot of people want to retire at a certain age. They want to retire at a certain income, and we help them understand if that's possible. If it's not possible, well, let's help walk through what the different scenarios might look like to help them make some great decisions. I'd say right there, that word right there, if there's one thing we do, it's help people make good retirement decisions, good decisions about their finances.
Nice.
So like I said, there's a lot of things that they've never faced before. They've never faced pension decisions, Social Security decisions. They've added to their 401k. They've never taken money back out of it before. You've had company health insurance for quite some time. Now you get into Medicare. You've heard your parents talk about required minimums in all these other situations. You just haven't faced that yourself. So we want to make sure that we're helping you make good decisions about your retirement, good decisions about your finances.
Yeah.
When it comes to the ideal client, outside of the age range part of it, it's really people that want some guidance with these decisions because they understand how impactful their choices can be, and they understand that they can make an impact to their retirement. All is not lost. They still got hope, and chances are pretty good that just putting together some pieces of the puzzle will make that retirement dream a reality for them. But I'll say two things real quick about who we usually work best with. A lot of times we're working best with people who are charitable. They're people that give good amounts of money to their church, to nonprofits, and we love that because that's how we are, who we feel we are, and it's fun to work with people that are have that same mentality. There's also some fun tax planning ideas we can do, and if you happen to not be charitable, well, you might miss out on some of those fun tax planning things. But also, we found that there's a lot of people who have stock, publicly traded stock, inside of their 401ks, or maybe they've got some different options that are available. There's just some interesting tax things you can do that unfortunately a lot of clients aren't aware of, a lot of advisors aren't even aware of, and it's really neat to go in, find someone that is charitable, has these certain accounts or certain stocks, and just find some opportunities for them to do even better with what they've got.
That's fantastic. How do you find these clients?
Well, when you have a niche, when you've got a somewhat of a narrow place where you are helping a specific people, a lot of times they're finding us online. You get to a certain age, you start typing in retirement planner nearby, or what should I do with my 401k? And we've made sure that we've got some good information out there for people, and then they've been reaching out to us a bit. And at the same time, too, we have all our clients know that we focus specifically on retirement planning, and when their friends and family are getting close to that age or have questions about their stock or their plans or their Social Security, things along those lines, they know that they can turn to us as a good trusted place to educate them, point them in the right direction. And if it happens to be along the lines with us, we'll be guiding them along the way.
Fantastic. Speaking of educating them, what kind of client education do you guys do? What are you involved in there?
Yeah, we love educating people. My mom's a teacher. I've taught a few classes at some local colleges. So we just love educating people, make sure that they are more aware of their money. If you know more about your money, you'll feel better about your money. You'll probably feel better about the rest of your life that your money affects. So we're educating all the time in our client meetings. Even if you're just someone that we haven't just met, that we've just met for the first time, we'll make sure that we're educating on accounts that you have, on opportunities you could have. So we're just doing it in general. But we also like to give seminars here at our office, at libraries, churches, nonprofits, different places where just giving some great education on those different topics, on retirement, Social Security, the stock plans, things along those lines.
Great. All right, Jeremy, can you give us a picture? I mean, you're talking about so many different things with education and what you're doing in the community and how you help your folks. I know you can't do it alone. So who's on your team and what do they do?
Yeah, we've got John that's been with us for a few years. He does a lot of the client service work. He's had quite a bit of experience doing that type of activity, making sure that anything that the client wants to have done gets done correctly and on time. And we're rooting for him to pass his CFP test. He's studying and planning to get his CFP certification because it's his goal to become a financial advisor.
Yeah, that's not easy.
Clients on.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say that's not easy. Yeah. A CFP test, that is tough.
CFP is a tough test, but he's working hard. He's
Nice.
before we started recording, he was figuring out how he's going to get down to Chicago for the 4-day live course. So he's putting the time in, and we're looking forward to having him pass the CFP. We're basically saying that's a requirement to be a full-fledged financial advisor, is to make sure you've got that certified financial planner background.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What do you guys do in the community?
We spend a lot of time. Really, for me, it's a lot of time with my kids. I've got 4-year-old, 8-year-old daughters. My wife's the Girl Scout troop leader for them. So we spend a lot of time at their activities. But you can always find us at our church, Lake Point Church out in Muskego. On a few different boards in Muskego, the city where we live in. Got a couple nonprofits that we like to help out with. We just did some volunteering over at Lighthouse Youth Center in Milwaukee. That was a really fun event. Brought our whole office out to do that. And there's one board in particular. This is fun. We were just at their gala this Saturday. The Lutheran Home Foundation, great place that has hundreds of people in their independent living as well as their nursing home and assisted living areas. And they were successfully announcing that they hit the $10 million mark and raised all the funds they needed for a memory care unit. So that was fun to watch on Saturday when we were there.
Yeah, that is great. It is so needed, and what a great organization.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, I don't want to dive too much into technical stuff right now in this podcast, but can you share a little bit about the designations that you hold or the advanced education you have?
Yeah, if you understand a little bit about me, you heard earlier our education focus, and that starts with us personally. I love to read, love to learn about how I can help people make their financial decisions. So we've got a few of those different designations. Maybe a couple of highlights is the CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. And then we've also got the RICP, Retirement Income Certified Professional. So that's something the American College put together to focus specifically on all the different tax and investment topics that come up for retirement folks that are getting ready for retirement. And another one I feel might be a good one to highlight is this Certified Kingdom Advisor. It's one that a great guy named Ron Blue really founded a few years back. And it's the idea that there's a lot of folks that feel that their faith and their beliefs that they draw out of the Bible should be applied towards the way that they manage their money. And it was just really neat to learn even more. I thought I knew a bit when I started it, and learned a ton more taking these courses to learn about how you can apply biblical principles to the way that you manage your money. So that's been a real fun one. I'd say that's the one that stretched me the most, because I learned quite a bit about a lot of areas in life.
Fantastic. You're singing my song, man. We'll talk more, but I'm definitely into BRI, and
there you go.
Do a lot of work within Kingdom Advisor folks and a lot of other organizations that you and I can talk for hours and hours about, I'm sure. So, no, that's
and that BRI, that stands for Biblically Responsible Investing, correct?
Yes, sir. It sure does.
All right, good.
Absolutely. All right, so that was really easy, right? That was the first half of this podcast. Now we're going to get into your personal life a little bit. Is that okay?
Please do.
Jump in. Here we go. All right. So, first question's easy. When you're not working, you kind of talked a bit about the family thing. What are you doing when you're not working? What do you do for fun?
Yeah, you got it. The kids and my wife are first. Love hanging out with them and taking the kids all around to their activities. On the personal side, you'll probably find me reading or spend a lot of time biking or swimming is my new sport. And I used to golf. Don't golf quite so often as much. It gets a little bit tougher when you have the kids growing on up, and it's really easy to hop on a bike for an hour compared to maybe going out golfing for a few hours on a weekend. But that's where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely. I love golf. I'm terrible at it, but I love it. But again, that's a good 3-4 hour commitment sometimes, and that's hard on a Saturday when you've got a honey-do list and you've got kids and all sorts of other people that want your time and you want to spend time with them. So that's great.
You can be. Yep.
Yeah. All right. If you had all the money you ever needed, ever needed for the rest of your life, what would you do?
I'd hope I'd keep doing what I'm doing now. And I think maybe if you think of that, I feel like everyone here probably should have all the money that they've ever needed in the world. It's more a matter of the mindset that you have enough compared to actually getting to a dollar amount. I've seen studies that said, how much is enough? And whatever the person has, they say like 25% more. You know, I got 200 grand. How much is enough? 250. Then you get there and you say, I got $1 million now. Well, how much is enough? 1.25. It just seems that if you're shooting for that dollar amount, you'll never get it.
Yeah.
But if you change the mindset that you already have enough, I think then you can maybe focus on some other things and actually doing the things that you'd want to be doing.
That's powerful. Yeah, that's amazing. I can't argue with that at all. That's a great mindset to have. Yeah. All right. What is your idea of success?
Oh, that's a good one. I like to add value. I feel like if you're adding value to the people you meet, then that's a success. If you're adding value to your family, if you're adding value to your clients, if you're adding value to your friends, that's definitely a success.
Love it. All right. This is kind of, people take this question a lot of different ways, but I want you to just be completely open-minded. It can be anything. What is the one thing you recommend most to clients, family, or friends? And when I say anything, it could be pizza toppings. It could be just spiritual advice. It could be financial advice. It could be, a good bike path to take. Anything.
Yeah, let's see here. One of my favorite books is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. I'd say that's one I recommend quite a bit if we're talking on the book side of things. Just amazing if you're a financial advisor. It helps you understand who's really out there that has become wealthy, what the type of people out there that perhaps you could help out a bit. And if you're not a financial advisor, or just a regular Joe, I guess, it gives you a good picture of what success looks like. It's not necessarily flying around in cars and having a fancy, flying around in jets, rather. Well, you could fly in cars.
Yeah, I was thinking flying cars is awesome.
Yeah, if you get that successful, maybe that'll
goes back
next.
That goes back to all the money in the world you had, or
That's exactly it. If I had all the money in the world, I would have a flying car. I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying there.
Yep.
You think jet setting around is a success, but it's just amazing the research they've done that the happiest, wealthiest people have been married to the same person for years. They live below their means, and they're out there trying to add value to the world, whatever it's their business and their personal life.
Yeah, it's amazing just the thought of the more you give, the more you get. And I'm not talking monetary, and you know that. It's the more you give away of yourself, of your time, talents and treasures, whatever you have, the more you get back in joy and just peace and everything. I don't understand how so many people miss that. I wish more people understood that. That would be great. All right, now we're to my favorite question. And I told you this before the podcast. This one is my favorite. I don't let anybody slide on this one. What is one thing that most people don't know about you, Jeremy?
I'd say most people that know me know this already because I'm pretty vocal about it, but I did not learn how to swim till I was 23 years old.
Really?
I was 5 years old. They threw me in the shallow end, and I just about drowned. I think I was probably in 6 inches of water, but I did not care for it. After 2 weeks of swim lessons, they got me to, I think maybe dunk my head in once after 2 weeks. So here I am, 23 years old, talking to my mentor right after I just started. He said, "Oh, you like to bike? You like to run? We should do a triathlon." I said, "Well, I got to learn how to swim." He just kind of laughed. I said, "No, I'm serious. I got to learn how to swim if you want to do this triathlon with me." So we took some swim lessons. He said, "I thought I was going to take some lessons anyways to get better. You'll be getting better from starting out at zero." So we took some swim lessons. I learned how to swim, and I completed 2 of the sprint triathlons. Those are the absolute smallest ones. But for a guy that started out not knowing how to swim, I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, not too shabby. Holy cow. That's 23, huh?
23 years old, yep.
All right. Well, my soul is connected to water. That's where I've always been. I had scuba diving license. I was a lifeguard, all that, and now I'm in Nebraska. So there's really no water here, Jeremy. So I don't know what happened.
Move up north to Wisconsin, land of 15,000 lakes, I believe.
Oh, now you guys are just above Minnesota at 10,000 lakes, right? Is that? I think that's the motto for.
Exactly.
It's always a competition between you two.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about family. We talked about success and all that. But in everybody's life, there's always these times, these moments where we lose focus, right? We have something that happens, whether it's a tragedy or maybe it's a fork in the road. There's a decision that needs to be made. So the next question really is, what is your mantra, motto, or something you say to yourself to help keep yourself focused and on track?
Well, it's close to a line from the great philosopher Vanilla Ice, and it's the line is, anything less than your best is a felony. To change it just slightly,
yes,
but I think that's the case. If you're not giving your best, that's a crime, honestly. And if we're put on earth here to help others and to add value, and you're not going about doing that, that's definitely a felony. So that's my mantra. If I'm ever feeling like perhaps I'm not about to give my best, that's what I run through my head, that anything less than your best is a felony.
And does it have the baseline in back of it when you think about that line?
Oh, absolutely. It's got to.
It has to, right? That's right. Bad thing is I could actually sing the entire song right now. I won't.
That's great.
I won't, but I could.
America thanks you for it.
They thank me for not doing it. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're almost done with this section. We're almost done with the podcast. I mean, it went by very, very quickly. Let me ask you this: if you had to pick one, what is your proudest achievement?
Oh, it's quite a bit. I'm gonna skip past the raising kids part because I think it's awesome, and we should all be proud of that. But I'm thinking one that comes to mind is back in college. I was a German minor, so I grew up in Germany with my dad being in the military, but I wanted to give myself a little challenge. And the challenge was I took a second level French course because I figured, well, I've learned another language. I should be easy to pick up this one, right? They're in the same continent. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the toughest courses I've ever taken, and jumped into level 2 French and got a B, and was very proud. I was more proud of that B in level 2 French by just deciding to do something different than any of the A's or A pluses I might have had from other classes. Got it.
Now you said you were in Germany at the time, right?
I grew up in Germany. This is in college back. I was going to school in Maryland. My dad was part of the Army, and we moved back and forth between the U.S. and Germany a few times. I was happened to be born in Germany, with him being overseas there. And but I'm going to American schools. Never lived out in the German world, so it's just all taking classes from school.
Got it. Well, I have to be honest. When you started this, you said you were a German minor. And
that's right.
Then you said you were in Germany. And I'm thinking,
you got it.
He was a minor in Germany.
That's true.
In a mine.
I was a minor in Germany. I was, yep.
Wow.
I moved back when I was 15, so definitely, you're right on.
That's right. I'm working in the coal mines in Germany at the time, and very proud of that. Okay, that took a different turn, but I'm glad that you're safe. You're not trapped in a mine anywhere, and French went well. Do you remember anything at this point?
I think I can count to 10.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that in case I get it wrong.
There you go. Yeah, I won't test you. You don't test me on Ice Ice Baby. I won't test you on the 1 to 10. Deal?
Well, wonderful. That's a deal.
All right, Jeremy, we are at our last question, and this is more about the general audience than you. Hopefully this podcast goes nationwide, gets lots of attention. My question to you is, you've given a little bit of information about your past and yourself on this. Can you give a sneak peek to folks that are listening to this? What are they going to learn on this podcast, and really who should be listening to it?
Well, I think the folks that should be listening to it is really anyone that does not have retirement figured out. If you got retirement figured out, more power to you. But I got a feeling there's a few folks out there that have not yet accomplished that. And what we're going to be going through is helping those guys figure out how do you prioritize the areas of your life that you can impact. We see a lot of times that people are trying to to make things happen in areas they really can't impact at all. There's ways that you can plan for your retirement that just helps you make decisions in areas that you can actually impact. And we'll give you quite a bit of ideas for you to explore, just ways to think about your investing, ways to think about your retirement, ways to think about your pension. What are you spending? What does your income look like? That's what we're doing.
All right. That sounds really good. And if it sounds good to somebody out there that's listening right this moment, how do they get a hold of you?
Our firm website is keilfp.com. That's Keil, my last name, Keil, FP for Financial Partners, keilfp.com.
All right. They've got the address, and hopefully they will check it out very quickly and get in touch with you to find out what you guys can do to help them out. Jeremy, thank you so much for being so open with us today, and I look forward to working with you on this podcast.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you all for listening to the Retirement Revealed podcast with Jeremy Keil. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, which I know you have not because this is the very first one, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when Jeremy comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. This makes it much easier to share these podcasts with your friends and family. Again, thanks for listening today. For everyone at Keil Financial Partners, this is Eric Johnson reminding you to live your best day every day. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Retirement Revealed podcast. Click on the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit retirement-revealed.com to learn more. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Keil Financial Partners. Keil Financial Partners does not provide legal, accounting, or tax advice. Consult your attorney or tax professional. Representatives have general knowledge of the Social Security tenets. For complete details on your situation, contact the Social Security Administration. Keil Financial Partners is a part of the Thrivent Advisor Network, a registered investment advisor. Content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.